Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, it's a very sad moment that we pay tribute to one of those few, very few, athletes. There are not so many. And this one is an international figure, not only national, international. And to lose her is a big loss, first to the country, but a very big one to the family. So, my condolence, and also of the people of Gulu City. This is about domestic violence. I remember we came out with the Domestic Violence Act in 2007. And Domestic Violence Act should be popularized. This is to Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. We need to popularize and we need to really sensitize people on domestic violence, gender-based violence. Even if we think we have done enough, it's not yet enough. There are very, very many women, but even men, who actually die because of domestic violence. More so the women. So, even men. We don't want people to die. And when people are in family, families are meant to be very peaceful and to bring up good children. But you find that this domestic violence, the vice, is so rampant. I go with those people who have suggested that the memory of Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei should not just be lost within a short time.
Thank you, Honorable Narure.
Kalule, thank you very much.
Karure, sorry, Flavia.
Right Honorable Speaker, another woman's life has been taken senselessly by the scourge of gender-based violence, which is very rampant and which is still haunting so many families and homes, even within our very selves. Right Honorable Speaker, it is very shocking that we failed as a country to protect an international asset, because Cheptegei was an international asset and needed more protection. Right Honorable Speaker, one woman's death is a death too many. And as a woman, I am deeply hurt that we can, and I insist that we cannot stay silent on issues of gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is systemic, it's deep-rooted in our cultures, it is within us, and we have all the right to uplift it. Because if we continue losing leaders in this country, key people, and not only her, but even the wananchi, the ordinary woman and man, because of gender-based violence, we are losing as a country deeply. We are saying not another woman has to die this way. Can we, in representation of Cheptegei, continue to construct gender-based violence shelters by the government? Because majority that we have are for private sectors. Can the government be able to protect women who are in domestic violence relationships? But also, we need to have stringent measures on outlining how to handle domestic violence issues. Because right now, when you get someone and you take them to police, as you're leaving, they are also leaving. Because the police is easily bribed. So can we say no to gender-based violence? Can we join our voices and demand that men and women respect each other alike and be able to settle their issues amicably, and stringent measures are taken for the perpetrators like that Kenyan man? It is really poetic justice that the man also had to die that way. But it is so unfair that we had to lose a national treasure first for this discourse to come to light. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable John Okia.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First, I would like to extend my condolences from myself and the people of Madiokolo to the people of Sebei and the family of Rebecca Cheptegei. Many members have highlighted the issue of gender-based violence, and I would like to add my voice and say more needs to be done in the area of mindset change on both parties, both female and men. I'd also like to highlight the historical issue of power imbalance between men and women. You find that power has always been in the hands of men in terms of holding property, in holding money. Even when you get married, they say, go to your husband's home. But the situation has changed in that some men are in the women's home. And so there's a lot that has to be, yes. She may own the property, yes. So there's a lot has to be done in sensitizing both parties. Because historically, power is in the hands of men. Money is in the hands of men. What does a young man do when the money is in the hands of a woman? And usually the one who holds the gold rules. So there must be some mindset change and some sensitization done to both parties, not just for the men, but also for the women. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chirabo. Switch on.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and members, we are here to pay tribute to Rebecca Cheptegei, who lost her life because of murder by the person she loved. We believe all that this person could have paid or was supposed to pay back love and support to her. But we are here mourning and paying tribute. Most members have talked about facilities, but members and Right Honorable Speaker, let us all believe that Cheptegei lost life because of gender-based violence, not because of lack of facilities, although it is also true on the other hand. So let us not run away from the fact that gender-based violence is still continuing in our societies. So what are we supposed to do as members? My colleague has talked about awareness, but let us also try to advocate for a world that is free, where women can live freely from gender-based violence, from attacks, from exploitation, and from abuse. Cheptegei was not just an athlete. She was more than that. She was a beacon of hope. She was a symbol of resilience. She was an inspiration to so many young people, young athletes outside there. Our achievements have been celebrated by us. They've given us pride as a nation. So, members, let us all advocate for a world that is free from gender-based violence. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Ogon, followed by Honorable Kror. John Bosco.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. One, I want to appreciate you for giving us enough time to discuss this very important topic. Right Honorable Speaker, I don't know whether this microphone is okay.
More than okay. Are you okay?
Thank you. I'll beg that you add at least 1 minute for me. The reason is that I had an opportunity to be with these athletes in Paris. And for that reason, somehow, we had that connection. It comes from the heart. And I request that once in a while, like now, I have that opportunity. I was there with Honorable Bua.
First consume the two we gave you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. So I'm here, first of all, to thank you. Then number two, to thank my brother, the Honorable Peter Ogwang, the way he has treated this sector, the way he has treated the athletes. He takes them as his own, actually, family members. And that's why we are seeing a big change in our sports sector. I think that is a big thing for us to really applaud. Number two, the NCS, the board of NCS and the management have done a tremendous job. Yes, we have all these challenges, but we need to support these people. Right Honorable Speaker, to run is not easy. To walk may be easy. I attempted to run in Kigali, not in Kigali, but Bujumbura. I ran alongside Tom Azar Alero and the Honorable Achon Julius. For the first lap, people thought now today we are getting 2 stars from Uganda. Chesailo and then Achon Julius. But Right Honorable Speaker, when we went for lap 2, I don't know what happened. Achon was increasing at the pace of an aeroplane. I said, now, am I running with an elephant, a giraffe, a serious animal, or a human being? Then I realized that running is not for all of us. It is for certain generals. At that time, the Honorable Bagole was behind me. I think I was the second last.
You had someone behind you also.
Yeah, I had some noise behind me. When I checked, it was only one person now remaining. What happened now? I realized I was actually the last person after a short time. But I saw one thing. This world is beautiful when you appreciate your position. I was the last, but I can tell you, everybody got up to applaud me, the last man. You don't have to grab land from your neighbor. You don't have to kill your lover. You don't have to kill your wife because of land, because of a house. You can be in your position and be better. You can share better when you love that person. For me, that's what I think. That is why the Bible says, it is blessed to give than to receive. Why should you kill your person? Because of property. And I can tell you one thing, right, Honorable Speaker, when you kill somebody because of property, you will never enjoy that property anymore. Therefore, I'm here on the behalf of the people of Kumi Municipality to denounce gender-based violence. There is no room for that in this era. There is no room whatsoever. To the men who are here, don't embarrass me. When you have a quarrel, cool down, give space, love your wife, and she will give you everything that you want. That is what this world is about. Yes, so let us respect ourselves. Let us respect the women. They are supposed to be women of dignity. Honorable Speaker, I see the way you always move with your wife. I think that's what people should copy from you. Learn to carry your wives hand by hand, side by side. Not the woman behind, then you are in front. That is a bad picture. Let us move with them side by side. And the world will be a better place for all of us. I think that is the way to go. Right, Honorable Speaker. Yes, right, Honorable Speaker. When I saw what was happening in Paris, most of the athletes, the ladies, are really people who are showing us that Uganda is about to control the world. Everybody is asking, where is this country? Where is Uganda? Because of the work of the athletes that we saw here. We had a dinner in this place, Protea. After we had won these medals. And it was a shining evening for me because everybody was happy that we got what we had failed to do for a long time. And Uganda was up there. You can imagine seeing that flag when you're in a foreign land. When they sing your anthem, you shed tears naturally. Men usually find it hard to cry. But for me, when Cheptegei, for instance, won, my tears just rolled naturally. When I touched, I thought what had been poured on me. No, it was joy because he had won for us. It was something big. It was not a mistake. It was not an accident. It was God-given. And therefore, right, Honorable Speaker, I think as Uganda, let us applaud this country. Let us appreciate ourselves the way we are. Be happy with your position. Don't kill your neighbor because of what they have. They will give share the love and you'll share the story.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Aogon. Honorable Kro.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. It's very unfortunate that this is a motion that we are paying tribute to one of the fallen heroes. Right, Honorable Speaker, there are various disciplines in sports. You have athletics, you have football, you have basketball. If you looked at basketball, it's a collection of 5 people. It's a joint effort. You come to, it's even worse with football. It's 11. Teamwork. But when you do athletics, I want to recount members one statement of a colleague of ours. When we were training for the East African Games, my brother, Honorable Yona Musinguzi, made a statement, and I'll never forget it. When we were doing those relays, said Okiror, the only discipline where you can pretend to be corrupt, but when it comes to going to the starting lineup, you leave your corruption in the lineup, is athletics. You can smuggle your way to go to the lineup and say you are going to represent, but when they tell you, on your marks, get set, you'll regret the corruption which happened to take you to the lineup. So this sport losing such an icon is really very devastating. She has been carrying our flag high, freely, marketing our country. It's very absurd, and surely, members, let's be grateful to our country that we have put in place the legal mechanisms. From those customs that my brother Peter Gwang talked about, the bad customs, we have out.
Thank you, Honorable Akero. Christine? I'm sorry, Honorable colleagues. I want to pick as many of you as possible.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Christine Akelo, a Member of Parliament from Erute North constituency. The Right Honorable Speaker, I want to be put on record. I'm also the medalist of 11th Parliament, and I represent the Ugandans in the East African Parliament. I have 7 gold medals within the 3 years, and I have 2 silver, meaning I have 9 medals within the 3 years. It is not easy. The Right Honorable Speaker, a married woman, a mother of children, just like me, to run up to this age. People believe that when you deliver, you cannot run, but that is not true. I also want to send my condolence to the fallen hero, my role model, because I came a long way. My journey has been full of role models. Today I am where I am because I was following some people's footsteps. The Right Honorable Speaker, it is a lesson to learn. I'm not going to talk about my sister. The lesson we are going to learn about the champion who has fallen. The Right Honorable Speaker, as we talk, the young people, the young talents are down there watching and listening. What will the government do concerning the safety of the young talents? The Right Honorable Speaker, I always try to promote sports because I don't want to die without leaving my seeds behind. In my constituency, I supported especially the young girl child plus boys, but my interest is to promote the young ones. The report I get from them, they tell me that parents do not allow them to participate because of the safety. Honorable Minister, you need to take the safety of the young talent serious, especially the girl child. Some of them get pregnant, are being used.
Our champion, because of the medals you've listed. Yeah, please conclude.
Thank you for the time given. The Right Honorable Speaker, we have a champion who raised the flag of Ugandans. That is Dorcas Izikuru. She's always struggling with the young talents, by like about 30 young people in Kyambogo you find in Makera University being knocked by border, no transport, and she's even hosting some of the young talents, trying to promote them to take them abroad. My Honorable Minister, you need to go closer, work hand in hand with Dorcas Izikuru. The woman is suffering. She's my coach. Every morning I'm with her, supporting her, facilitating her to move to come and coach. The Right Honorable Speaker, lastly, Lugogo, we are talking of training facility. Before we go to Kaptura, let's start from Kampala. Lugogo, it has turned to become entertainment ground for music, dance, and drama. When I go to train every morning, I train from Lugogo. You find feces all over. Sometimes we want to do press up, you end up touching feces. It is not safe, Honorable Minister. Every Friday you find people dancing, and it has lost the meaning. Let it be strictly for sports. And as we talk, they talk of asbestos as being, it is not supposed to be used, but in Lugogo they are still using asbestos. And even the shed itself, it's going to collapse on the people. It is not very safe. The place is very alarming, very appalling. Honorable Minister, take it seriously, because the environment matters. It motivates somebody to play before you even start putting your energy. I thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, Honorable colleagues, you've heard Honorable Christine, how she does press-ups and what. I think for the men, next time you're going to speak, I'm going to require press-ups here. And you start eliminating yourselves. But Honorable Christine, the case of Honorable Inzikuru, the Parliament of Uganda has supported her strongly. We employ her as a coach, and we pay her handsomely. The money Honorable Inzikuru earns from here, really, it should be an issue of personal priorities. Okay? And we did it, we are a government institution. When Parliament is supporting her, government is supporting her. You know? So I think it's an issue of personal choice where she wants to put her money, but Parliament is has done a great job supporting her by giving a contract as a coach. I wanted that to be on record. Someone might think she's just around suffering without being recognized. Yeah, Honorable Soru as next, then Honorable Koyechenga.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. As the female captain for athletics in 11th Parliament, I want to say that nobody deserves to die like the way our sister did. On behalf of the people of Arua City, we condemn violence in the strongest term. Right Honorable Speaker, it's so unfortunate that so women suffer quietly in the hands of ruthless husbands who are so greedy enough and not contented with what they have. Right Honorable Speaker, the International Committee of Olympics is wondering what's happening to East Africa. Because in East African community, we have lost so far about 4 athletes, by the way. We have lost 2 from Uganda and 2 from Kenya, all in the names of violence. Now they are saying, what could be happening? Why can't we protect our athletes? Right Honorable Speaker, my prayer is, I'm very much aware that the late must have had some unfinished projects. How I wish that the government can carry on with the unfinished projects and then also support the children. Together, as Parliament, we also request that let's have annual lectures about our late, such that she's also remembered annually. Right Honorable Speaker, she has gone when the young generation still needs her. She still continues to inspire many young generation, and forever we will look up to her. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you, Honorable Koyechenga.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I also want to add my voice on talking about our sister Rebecca Cheptegei, who just passed on like that. And on a special note, I want to thank our Honorable Minister of Sports because he has been there. We saw him doing great work. We thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker, these days men don't want to work. Men don't want to work. Most of them sit down, wait for the money. Some men.
Men don't want to work apart from parliamentarian, apart from MP.
Right Honorable Speaker, it is not happening just, it has not happened to Rebecca. So many women there are dying just like dogs. They are being beaten, they are being throttled just because of money. So it is so sad to see that Cheptegei has passed on, she has left her children, and it's very unfortunate even the father could not stay to see those children grow. So the gender-based violence is real, and as members of Parliament, as people, as Ugandans, we must stand up and fight for the people, and fight for the ladies, fight for the boys. It is not happening to only the women, even men are also, the boy child is also suffering. So,
Honorable Choma, followed by Honorable Ayume and Honorable Papa Lilian.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to join the rest of the colleagues to pay tribute to our fallen sister, Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei. And in the strongest terms possible, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to condemn the barbaric action as the result of moral decadence that actually So the end to our sister's life. Right, Honourable Speaker and colleagues, Rebecca was not only an asset to our country, but also an international asset. And by definition, an asset is anything of value from which cash flows, the inflows one, are expected. And in Rebecca, as an asset, her asset status was in form of capitalized human efficiency because of her skill. And actually, we are getting inflows from her in the form of foreign exchange. So it is a big loss. I want to thank the Minister, Honorable Ogwang, for your effort and for your open door policy. And please keep it up so that you keep reaching out to these sports ladies and sportsmen all over so that we really don't keep losing such assets. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. Honorable Yume, Honorable Paparu, and Honorable Bashir.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to join the rest in paying tribute to Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei, and I also condemn the heinous act. Right Honorable Speaker, I would just like to broaden this discussion that gender-based violence is beyond physical abuse, but it includes physical abuse, verbal, psychological, and sexual. Right Honorable Speaker, on average, 200 fathers are involved in defilement of their children annually, and I don't know how this skips the radar of Parliament. In Uganda, if you go to the crime report of police, in 2021, I think there were 200. Last year, I think there were 129. So I think Parliament needs to unpack and go beyond good enough. This death, the positive side is that what we are seeing is the tip of the iceberg. But there is a lot more, so we need to take a deliberate effort. And I would want to encourage the women members of Parliament that please let us lead from the front. And every month, this data is there both at the health centers and in your various districts, the central police stations. So can we have it being reflected on our TV screens all over Parliament, so that this discussion of gender-based violence, which is beyond physical but also to the sexual aspect, is brought to the surface. And finally, the Minister of Sports, I think at one point, I think it was the chairperson of the Netball Federation complained of sexual harassment within. I don't know where that discussion fell, but I wouldn't be surprised that some of the coaches and some of the coaching staff prey upon, especially where there are females, like basketball, volleyball, and netball. So how do we...
Thank you. Honorable Lilian Paparu, Honorable Bashir.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to join my colleagues to pay tribute to Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei, the late. This was a champion, and she still had more time to shine and bring glory to this country. Right Honorable Speaker, it is unfortunate that at times falling in love can lead to such a bad end. I want to say this, that women, for us, we fall in love with our heart and with our soul. At times I think men probably fall in love with their head and they start calculating so many things. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Minister who has started talking to the athletes. Most of these athletes start getting monies. Those who are succeeding get monies in early stage. And you find most of their managers focus on the training, but not on the financial management. Someone mentioned Njikuru Dorcas here, one of the champions. She's from Arua district. When she started winning, she was so young. And that time she had a lot of money. I think when somebody sees where she was and what she's doing now. That's why people complain. But it's not only her. We have had our champions in sports signing only when they have the medals at hand. When time goes, you find they are nowhere to be seen. When we started talking of the Kibwas, when you trace them, you find where are their homes? What do they have? Yet at time T, they were signing and having a lot of monies. So, Honorable Minister, I'm very happy you're saying that you're taking this up.
Thank you. The issue of sustainability, Yes, Honorable Bashir.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Myself and the people of Mubena Municipality to also add a voice in paying tribute to our fallen sports icon. Right Honorable Speaker, what happened to Sergeant Rebecca brings some internal bleeding. It is indeed painful and something we cannot reverse, but discussing to try to avoid a reckless repeat of such. Right Honorable Speaker and my colleagues, when some of these things happen.
No, that wasn't 2 minutes. Please switch on. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Please, the technical check.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, when such things happen, we rush to apportion blame. We have had issues. This is greed of the man. This is moral decadence. This is what, and all those other things. But I wanted to also point to a new perspective or some other alternative. That in Uganda, studies have shown that 14 million people, that's around 22.9%, are grappling with the mental health issues. Certain things happen not out of the will of the people doing such things. It is very, very, very also to look at from that kind of side. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to say that even among us, we have seen some of our colleagues, and the people are rushing to condemn them to a guillotine, that this one is a mad person, this one is what. People who would actually require psychiatric and psychological support are condemned. So we should also look at some of these issues from that perspective. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you. So, Honorable Lola Kanushu, Honorable Naruyima Betty, Honorable Nancy Achora, Honorable Milton Muuma, Honorable Dr. Pio, Honorable Midias Natkunda, Honorable Faith Nakut, Honorable Lino Singopek, Honorable Remejia Chia, Honorable Nyakata Snas, Honorable Mugore, Honorable Dr. Luyonga, Honorable Mayanja Aran. Oh, but Honorable Susan Abeja didn't. No, Susan, you were number one. You are within the first group. And your fund also, UPDF, the two of you are first take the two of you, then I take these ones I've read. Let me start with Honorable Abeja. Then I got Kano. I had picked in the first group. Sorry.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
I'll do another round. We are still here. Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to condole with the family of Rebecca Cheptegei. May also rest in peace. But Right Honorable Speaker, in the week as we were burying our sister Rebecca Cheptegei, the same incident also happened in my district, where a man who really didn't go to school raped a young girl of 8 years, killed her, and the girl has been buried. And the girl is a child to a primary teacher in one of our schools. She's called Akelo Rebecca. It was a sudden moment in our district. Right Honorable Speaker, this is the docket of the Ministry of Education. I'm requesting the Ministry of Education that our HE, the able leader of this country, has always sung about free education. But this has never been put into action. We are leaving boy child down there, not educating them, because their parents are not able to take them to school. And these are our future husbands. There is a saying that love is blind. One can go to school and get to marry a man who does not have anything, who has not gone to school. So I will request the Ministry of Education. This is not my statement. Go to my area. All the young boys are busy smoking because their parents have refused to pay them school fees. Let's embrace free education. Yes, even educated one can kill their wives, but at least somebody who has something in his pocket can.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Nekesa. Honorable Aurora Kanusha.
The House at large. I stand to support the motion and pay tribute to our fallen heroine, Sergeant Rebecca. Indeed, it's a loss to us as an institution and UPDF fraternity, for she was a tourism ambassador for us as a country, and also she put the value of a woman in the military. So that really is a gap for us, but we thank God that we were able to notice her and put her in that. I'd like to share something about, we've spoken about the women, the culture. One of us said culture is about the women, their culture is their children, and the Minister of Sports said something about the progressive culture. I think, Right Honourable Speaker, it is serious that we take this seriously, women in modern society, where there's no space, where women compete equally with the men in military, in sports. Those are before were male-based jobs to do. Now they're going all the way to do that. It's high time that the modern society allowed women to co-invest, co-share, and also have property, so that we have partnerships than more of fighting. It's a pity that we're having this happening now as we're promoting the girl child, as we're promoting the women's society and women achieving it all. But that bit of culture, children who can't run their own, who can't invest or co-invest, at least high time we revise. I don't know what the gender ministry can do, but we need to have to revise culture in modern society that women can do that, and we have a very peaceful, progressive culture that women are seen and valued more. I thank you, Honourable Speaker, for the chance.
Thank you, Honourable Aurora.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to send out my deepest condolences to the people of Sebei. I'd also like to thank the Minister for everything he did for the family, but to implore him to make sure that the children of Cheptegei are taken care of. Everybody who is a parent here knows that, God forbid, if you are to die, you would want your children to be taken care of. So for me, I think that's priority for the children of the deceased. Mr. Speaker, I think that we seem to agree that the issue of gender-based violence is not only against women, but also men. And since I hear the voices, I want, as Parliament, we should begin to think about the reports. There's a whole report on gender-based violence from the Committee on Gender after COVID that the Honorable Ayumi was referring to, I think, but most of the issues were in that report. But what happens to the reports? When we write reports and make recommendations, what do we do as Parliament? Are we only going to be stopping at coming here and reading reports and make very good recommendations and never follow up on them? We really need to go back and see the good reports that we have in this Parliament and make use of them. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, is about the Marriage Act. It's an ancient law. We cannot be talking about a law that I think is 1904. Honestly, we can't. And every time it comes to Parliament, it peeps and goes back. It peeps and goes back. But now that we seem to agree, both men and women, that men can kill women, women can kill men, domestic violence is real, I think it's high time we brought that bill here. It's high time we made amendments under that law, because we can't be working with a law of 1904.
Thank you. I think the minister will refer to, I'll wait for the response from the Minister of Gender, but we would need an action taken report on the report of Parliament, which was brought by the Committee on Gender. Thank you for that reminder. Honorable Narima, followed by Honorable Nansa Chora.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as an executive member of the Uganda Parliamentary Sports Club, I also join the rest of us, parliamentarians, to pay tribute to our fallen heroine, Cheptegei. Mr. Speaker, as we remember Cheptegei, could we get a response from government? What really happened to the funeral policy, the act, that legislation that talks about the pieces of what could be done upon someone who has left, especially given that some of us, some categories of this society are catered for. But now about internationals. Now we are talking about Cheptegei, about Benjamin Kiplangat. What do we have for him or when he left? Where is it about his children, our ex-internationals? So it could help us so much, different people in this society that are really helping Ugandans or Uganda to be to its flag raised high. As I'm about to finish, the sports conflicts, where we train from, could it be that it's a guarantee that it will remain a sports ground? Can we remember Cheptegei by the way we named Omondi, the KCCA grounds? Can we also name the MTN Arena where we are training after Cheptegei as we look for other facilities? And finally, Mr. Speaker, for us, the Wakiso people in Nambole, could we be helped so that the schools that used to train from Nambole be given more space to access that facility once again, such that the community does not see development as a problem and it continues seeing it as a success point for them? May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honorable Nancy, followed by Honorable Muuma.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the people of Lamoa District and Acholi Sub-Region to condole with our brothers and sisters from Sebei for the loss that we cannot regain. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the issues of gender-based violence in this country, it is very profoundly, very loud. And at this particular juncture, I want to implore our senior Honorable Minister, Betty Amongin, to take a keen interest in initiating some particular projects which is going to be meant for the men. The men are really having inferiority complex out there that it's really killing these generations, especially those ones that have women who are economically more empowered than them. So many women are dying in silence. You're hearing so many sisters of ours are falling, pressure, what? The people out there, marriages are breaking every day. Not because that we the women are bad, or maybe because we don't respect our husbands, but because the men feel so small to live as a husband of an economically empowered woman. Honorable Minister, take in interest, develop a strategy to empower the men so that men take their space and they know that they are our husbands and they really, I take the information.
Honorable, you have 2 minutes, please. I don't do this because in the 2 minutes, it counts.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. As I conclude, the men out there, they can do better than killing the women by looking for space and struggling for properties, just like my other former colleagues have spoken. May this.
Thank you. Honorable Muuma, followed by Honorable Dr. Pio.
Thank you very much,
Honorable
Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion. At the same time, convey condolences to all Ugandans because the late was an asset for the entire country. Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the armed forces false identifying talent and also developing these talents, at the same time allowing them to shine at those different levels where they have been representing us. The UPDF, the Uganda Police Force, and the Prison Service have been very supportive on the sides of Chiprotik and the late Cheptegei. So we salute them for that. Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the Minister for Sports, Honorable Gwang. I have to thank you so much for bringing your docket in the limelight. You've been very supportive. You came with luck. There are so many things happening in that docket that are making us shine. I will not substantiate, but listen. AFCON, Mr. Speaker, recently there is this Pamoja thing we are talking of. Stadium are being constructed, so we are proud of this. Yes, we are proud of it. Mr. Speaker, I think I needed to bring this forward. The last time I visited Sierra Leone, Mr. Speaker, they earmark pieces of land for sports achievers and medalists to develop and invest, because it is hard to secure. Like members were pushing to secure somebody, you give a patrol to somebody in Kenya, give one in Rwanda, it may not be attainable. But if at all we secured spaces of land here in Uganda, like your Uganda Investment Authority has done for investors in the manufacturing sector, we say all sportsmen who have achieved to this level be accorded land here.
Thank you. Dr.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to pay tribute to the late Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei. She lived as an epitome of sports excellence. It's unfortunate she died as a victim of domestic violence. However, Right Honorable Speaker, we note that she was at the rank of a sergeant in the army. But when you come to us as a country, she was at the rank of an international diplomat. I really want to appeal that whatever benefits should be given should not be at the rank of a sergeant in the army, but at the rank of an international diplomat. The Act for the Sports Act provides for national recognition and reward scheme, which includes gratuity, pension, and other monetary benefits. I really want to implore this House and the Minister that we evoke those provisions so that she can be able to receive that national recognition and award that matches the rank she had internationally as a diplomat. In that way, we would have honored her, not just as a sergeant in the army, but at the rank of a diplomat of our country. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honorable Medias.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also rise to pay tribute to our fallen star, Rebecca, who was a rising star in sports. From what the Honorable Minister was reading to us, you could see that she started at an early age to develop her sports career. So it is so unfortunate that she has died in her prime, but at least what she set out to achieve, she achieved, she shined, though we still had more, we still wanted more of her. I also want to thank the Minister who has said he took up the initiative to make sure she talks one-on-one with the female athletes regarding their issues with the culture and managing their finances. But I think it is going to be so tedious of you to call one-on-one. I remember during budgeting, each ministry had a vote on mindset change. I want to implore the Ministry of Gender. We did not see Ministry of Gender when we lost this star of ours. Yet you can see the issue that led to her death is domestic violence. It did not come up to denounce this. Members, I encourage all of us, much as we are talking about gender-based violence in Parliament, what are we doing in our constituencies? When you're given a space to talk, what do you talk? Do we wait for such things to happen and then we raise our voices? Let's stand up in our constituencies. We raise the issue of domestic violence because today it's her, tomorrow it's me or your sister or someone else. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nakut, followed by Honorable Linus, followed by Honorable Chia.
Right Honorable Speaker, I also stand here to pay tribute to the late daughter of this country who made Uganda proud severally. Of course, it is regrettable that she had to die in that manner and to die because she fell in love. I wish she died over something else, but she fell in love and then died. There are things to learn from this death, but It is my hope that the ministry responsible for museums and monuments considers the option of putting her sculpture in the National Museum, so that this story is not lost, so that the future generations can see and also read, and the boys and also the girls see that it is wrong to kill someone just like that. Let our story not just get lost. It is my appeal that we do that. It's also my appeal that the ministry responsible for gender, through our CDOs, that a communication be sent out so that our CDOs can inform all the women in this country that it is okay to exit an abusive relationship before you end up dying. That communication should go so that we rescue the women. It's not an issue of Kenya. Even here in Uganda, several women are dying quietly. They cannot even speak. They cannot, even men, they cannot even go to police, because when they go to police, they will be seen as cowards. They will be thrown, they will be laughed at. These are things which are hard to manage. But if the women and the men know how to exit an abusive relationship, then we will prevent such occurrences. I submit.
Thank you, Honorable Linus. Honorable Rebecca Cheptegei.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. To her teammates, it's such a pity, because I know at this point in time, they're all broken down. So I urge you to be strong, firm, go out there, win more medals in honor of our late sister, Sergeant Rebecca. And to the team at the Ministry of Education, National Council of Sports, we shall always support you whenever you come with a better proposal here. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of domestic violence must be condemned, because like Dr. Yume said, it's not the physical, we also have the mental. Even as you find colleagues here leaving home, going back home past 11 p.m. just because they want to take sleep and wake up in the morning, come to Parliament. It's because mentally, our women also are treating us not well. So we should not say it's only the men who are violating their wives' rights or women's rights. No. Even as men, we are going through hell, and we need to have a discussion about this. We need to have a discussion as a nation about domestic violence. Both men and women are going through hell. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chia.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Very sad moment. My condolences to our sisters and brothers from Kapshora and to the country at large. My message in this, because Mr. Speaker, as you may already be briefed, this was not the first time that this young man who killed this lady had beaten her, almost threatened to kill her. There were even many cases in court before this final sad event happened to the women and also to the men. Early reporting is important. This woman kept reporting or sought help, maybe we would have not lost our sister. Mr. Chairman and colleagues, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, even women kill. My friend General Kazini was killed by a woman. So I agree with Rompek that I am in my constituency, Faith knows that I'm an ardent supporter of the boy child. Recently, the men you are waiting are not being brought up properly. Even this civil society and NGOs are focusing on the girl child. They are giving them free scholarships, and they are leaving the young men there in the village. What do you expect? Moreover, those are their early friends, childhood boyfriends, and they will end up going to those villages and marrying these young men. This should not be a one-sided question. We must also focus on family. Because in our culture, in Karamaja culture, it's only a poor man or a greedy one who can kill a woman, or slap even. No, poor man is the one who can beat a woman. When you are rich, what do you have? If she's bad, you go and marry another one. Why do you waste time? See, poor men, stupid men who marry things. So this question must be opened up. Let's not look at the one that our sister shall.
Thank you. So, Remedia Chia is might be a strong supporter of the boy child, but he's someone who has allowed his wife to grow. He has not suffocated his wife. So, those who might misunderstand it, the woman is empowered. In fact, if Remedio made any crime, it's the wife who would prosecute him because she's the DPP of Uganda. So, we should support, indeed what he's saying, we should support both genders. We see how best we can bring them up very well. Honorable Nyakato Asinas.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Hoima City, and on my own behalf, I also condole with the family for the loss of our dear sister. And I do condemn domestic and gender-based violence. Right Honorable Speaker, as we pay tribute to our fallen sister, I wish to remind government of the presidential pledges to our medalists. Note that the president did pledge 5 million monthly salary to all medalists who win gold at continental level, 3 million shillings to those ones who win silver, and 1 million those ones who win bronze. I pledge to our dear Honorable Minister, through the Ministry of Education, to ensure that you implement the presidential pledge. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, I also call, if it pleases you, Right Honorable Speaker, I would also request that we also pay tribute to our dear honorable members who have won this country gold medals. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker, and silver and bronze. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. We shall look at that. Honorable Mgore, Honorable Dr. Yonga, Honorable Aran Mayanja, Honorable Kero Joffrey, Honorable Chirumira, Honorable Kayondo, Honorable Ranya, Honorable Namukutabre.
Right Honorable Speaker, as we pay tribute to the fallen Hurrian, whose quietus really caused an eczema situation on my epidermis, I would like to reiterate that Uganda has legislation on sexual harassment, domestic violence, harassment at work, all of them. The only thing, whenever something happens, what we should do is policy. I would like to submit as follows on 3 issues. One, that whereas we have all these regulations and laws in place, we need to popularize them further so that it changes the mindset of both men and women and children too. Because domestic violence, it involves every person, number one. Number two, since these deaths of around 2 or 3 of our Ugandans have happened in Kenya, there must be a bilateral relation between Uganda and Kenya in regard to this particular aspect. How would we control that? And thirdly, somebody getting a gold medal, that person becomes an international diplomat. How I wish that all these gold medalists change their passports. We change their passports to diplomatic passports or official passports, that whenever they are getting out of the country, at least we are aware. That would also help on the security of those people, because they are our assets of this country. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. By the way, Honorable colleagues, something very funny. You know, people rush for diplomatic passports and all that. But us who carry them, we know what we go through. When, you know, I have my friend can get a visa to UAE, to any Arab country, in 30 minutes. I take 4 days. I have to wait. To apply anywhere, I need a diplomatic note. The other side, so I'm always delaying my business partner sometimes when we want to travel. The only thing it protects you on is on crimes. If you commit a crime somewhere, then they have to inform your government to either waive immunity. If they don't, you're declared a persona non grata and all that. There are better things we can give these people than diplomatic passports, which, because they are movements, they need to move freely. Everyone who crosses the border, whether you're using an ordinary passport or diplomatic passport, government knows. When you put in, they have your profile and all that. So mainly their welfare should be most important issue. Dr. Yonga, then Onewara Mayanja.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me this chance. And on behalf of people of Bunyoro, I would like to pay tribute to the Rebecca, who was the pride of Sebei, the pride of Uganda, the pride of Africa, dying under such circumstances. So may her soul rest in eternal peace. But Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, we have had a number of incidences whereby many people have been burnt after being poured on fuel on petrol. Is there a way we can regulate the sale of petrol to some people? Because you find someone who has a jerrycan of 5 liters, he goes to a petrol station and asks for petrol, and they just give. Because you can't use petrol for cooking, you have to use it for either a vehicle, a motorcycle, or a generator. Is there a way? I know you can access petrol from motorcycles, from motorcycles or vehicles, but if we regulate the sale of petrol to people who don't have even vehicles, maybe you can be able to reduce the incidence. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then Honorable Okero Geoffrey.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. Right Honourable Speaker, for today's sitting, I'm nicknaming myself Chemayanja in my view of recognizing the great landmark made by Rebecca Cheptegei. Right Honourable Speaker, she won 4 international gold medals, 4 international silver medals. And in the details of the motion of the minister, it states that Sergeant Rebecca Cheptegei survived by 2 children aged 11 and 8 who are in dire need of support. 4, she was their sole provider. Right Honourable Speaker, I'm thinking about the continuity of these only 2 children. Right Honourable Speaker, therefore, propose that let it be resolved that the government take care of these only 2 children of Rebecca Cheptegei until they finish university. And that is a proposal. Let it be amended. We amend the resolutions of this motion. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honourable. That's a proposal which has a charge on the consolidated fund and violates Article 93 of the Constitution. Therefore, we cannot make such, but we can urge government to look into that. And I'm very sure the minister has taken note because the spirit was good. Thank you. Honourable Charles.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to support the motion to thank the Honourable Minister for moving it, to pay tribute to the late fallen hero, and also to denounce the blind and heartless murder, which is becoming so common. Mr. Speaker, this country first witnessed the escalation of gender-based violence during COVID. Even if we overcame the COVID, the violence in families have become fairly chronic. There is need for interministerial approach on this matter. And there is need to also Parliament to enact a way to involve other stakeholders, even the religious fraternity, the civil society, to attack this menace. Mr. Speaker, Rebecca died so soon. My colleague here has raised the issue of children, but these children are also international. Well, the father is Kenyan, the mother is Ugandan. Just as my colleague has said, there is need to formalize some way to put informal bilateral discussion about these children, and they are not two, they are three, plus the adopted one. So that there is also a way that is formal, that should anything happen in future, there is a policy to take care of such event. Right Honorable Speaker, she was a national hero. She's not only survived by children, but she also left us.
Are you still on record, Honorable? Because you're talking of records, but I don't know. Yeah, but I think that wasn't even more than a minute. Conclude.
Yes, she has international record, but to me, our national record is equally important. She has set a record to be broken, and she died before someone has broken the record. The Honorable Minister also listed a lot of accolades. Can we also get some place where we can see all these accolades for those who have already died and for those who are still living, so that we start honoring our heroes while they are still alive? May our soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Honorable Chirumira, Honorable Kayondo, Honorable Andoranya.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also join my honorable colleagues and I associate with their submissions. But Right Honorable Speaker, I want to emphasize this issue of domestic violence. Our cultural values and maybe religion put so much attachment on marriages and relationships. And to some extent, people do not want to move in respect of their cultural values and religious values. And more often, cases of domestic violence come as a result of that. I think it is paramount for us to call for people to speak out. Speak out on issues of domestic violence, because many of them do not come as rainstorm. Slowly but surely they build up, and before we realize, something bad has already happened. So, Right Honorable Speaker, we need to encourage people to speak out on issues of domestic violence, not only women, but even men who are suffering, who are having issues resulting from their marriages, should be encouraged to speak out. We have so many football players, sportsmen, who have been crying a lot because their women or their wives have taken their properties. Some of them stay alive and they remain poor on grounds of their women. So we need to continuously call people to speak out on issues of domestic violence. Maybe then it will help to improve on the situation. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honorable Kayondo. Andrew Ranya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. People of Mukono South strongly condemn this act. Honorable Speaker, there is a difference between having a calling and having an appointment. Let me say it categorically. Honorable Peter Ogwang has a calling in this ministry. It's not an appointment. I think the same thing with our shadow minister, Honorable Kayemba Solo, also has a calling. Honorable Speaker, let us agree that it's God who chooses whom to give, and not two. Let us not blame the given. Let us not hurt the given. Let us blame the giver, because he has the whole authority over whom to give, and not two. And finally, Honorable Speaker, marriage is not a prison. If it's not working, For God's sake, leave it. Even Hagar, the wife to Abraham, had to leave when it was not working out with Sarah. It's not a prison. It's you we want, not your marriage. This heroine, had reports of marriage that was not working out. Honorable Speaker, we are losing someone who was trying to protect a marriage. Why should you swallow a poisonous nut because you want people to clap for you?
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, some of us, when it comes to those issues of marriage, have very, very strong sentiments on them. We believe in making marriage work. Yeah, and because we don't, some of us don't consider marriage to be that you can just go in, then conveniently walk out. But we know each marriage has issues, okay? And we always work on those issues. I pray that the message doesn't go out that members of parliament are saying, no, if you have a little quarrel, go out because we need you as a human being. I think it's trying. Of course, it's where it reaches a limit. Even those who have tried like how have failed. But some of us still believe, for better for worse, you push on. Okay? Yes. Honorable Ranya Andrew, Honorable Namkuta Brenda.
Thank you,
then
Mr.
the leader
Speaker.
of opposition.
I bring condolences from the people of Omoro, from Acholi, and from the Uganda Rugby Fraternity. I also join my colleagues in condemning this heinous act of domestic violence. There should be no room for such, really, in this modern era. I would like to thank the government for giving this gallant daughter of the land that befitting burial. She did her best to represent the country. I want to thank the government. I also pay tribute to the Ministry of Education through Honorable Gwang and the First Lady. It is not easy to do what they're doing under the limited resources. Last year, Right Honorable Speaker, this Parliament passed a silver bullet of a law, that National Sports Act. My colleague, Honorable Chuti, has made mention to Section 5 of the law, of creating that national recognition and reward scheme. It is just a matter of operationalizing it, because the Honorable Minister has mentioned several times that many times we won. For example, in rugby, in the All Africa Games in Ghana, we got gold, both men and women. In Mauritius recently, we got gold medals, but we are still grappling with the issue of player welfare. And it's a matter that we can only address through certain schemes like this one. So I want to appeal to the minister that let's have that regulation in place. Let's operationalize the law, because it's a very fantastic law. Secondly, the federations really struggle with organizing events, international events, especially those sanctioned, because they're all sanctioned by the National Council of Sports. They're sanctioned by government. Recently, the Uganda Rugby Union hosted the Rugby Africa Cup here in Uganda. Up to now, we're still paying debts because the government is yet to fulfill its commitment. We have a debt of over 2 billion.
Thank you. Honorable Namkuta. I'll make a special consideration for the former chair of the Committee on Gender. She's been here from 2 p.m., but as a former chair on issues of gender-based violence. Honorable Namkuta, I know honorable colleagues, but again, I have to stop somewhere.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, on behalf of the people of Kaliro District, and on my own behalf, I would like to send my sincere condolences to the people of Sebei. Right Honorable Speaker, I'd like to appreciate government for considering sports, and particularly the athletics. Initially, if you were to look at the trend in the recent years, it wasn't as it is now. I'd like to appreciate so much our government. Our Right Honorable Speaker, whether we like it or not, we can't deny the fact that the late Rebecca has succumbed to gender-based violence. Right Honorable Speaker, very many people are suffering silently, and as leaders we need to take serious action. Right Honorable Speaker, I'll openly say some of us are victims, and we shall not hide from the fact. We speak this with emotions, because what that woman went through, it's unfortunate that she died. For me, I've seen families where people are seriously cutting each other with pangas. I myself have faced this in my own home. I'm not ashamed to speak about it. Someone threatened me with a panga, not once, not twice. And it's so emotional, I'm sorry, but it is happening. Now, if it can happen to me, a member of parliament, what a...
No, honorable colleagues, I know the case of Honorable Namukuta we've shared before. Just let me allow her more time to speak out for the rest.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we women are so patient and secretive. By the time I come to you to speak out my problems, it means it has gone beyond. Some of us are trained to be patient. But if a woman comes to you to share their problems, like Honorable Minister, you said that lady came to you and shared something. I think it was overtaken by events, but leaders and the honorable colleagues, when a colleague comes to you to share, because many of us are suffering silently, and for me, everyone always asks me, how have you survived? Amongst ourselves here, they come to me for advice. Right Honorable Speaker, our men have something called inferiority complex. Some of them, I'll use the word some, because much as we say that not all men are the same, and not all women are the same, that is a fact. Because as men are crying, like Honorable Lino said, it is true. Very many men take their time in bars, take their time outside home, and they just go home to sleep because they know what is at home. It is hot. So as we are paying tribute to the fallen hero, let us take note and take the issue of gender-based violence serious. Let us take action, because majority of the people in this country look at protecting their names other than protecting their lives. Right Honorable Speaker, it's too much. May Rebecca's soul rest in peace.
Thank you.
I beg to submit.
And Honorable, thank you for speaking out, because I have shared with many have come to us as readers, and we have talked to some, we have tried to solve some of the cases, some we have failed, including a few of the men. But honorable colleagues, please don't die alone. Just share with the colleague. You never know where the solution and advice can come from. Yes, Honorable Flavia Rawhoro.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the Honorable Gwang for the motion, and I want to support him. I condole with the people of Sebei. I condole with the family of Cheptegei and the dear orphans. Right Honorable Speaker, I listened to Honorable Gwang very well. I would like to know from him, Honorable Gwang, whether the Department of the Ministry of Sports has a Department of Gender. Why would it be you talking to women and men? Don't you have a Department of Gender in that Ministry of Education and Sports? Number two, Right Honourable Speaker, let's be deliberate on identifying and developing talent. Schools and education institutions carry out competitions in sports. I thought that this would be an avenue for the Ministry of Sports to identify young people who are coming up with talent. I want to believe that in this country, in various districts, there is talent that is not developed. Honorable Minister, you know that my young people invited you to their district, to my district, to come and talk to them and be able to identify the talents they have so that you can develop them. But you are concentrating in only one place, thinking that it is only Sebei who have the talented ones. I want to...
Yeah. Rope.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to join colleagues in seconding the Minister's motion in paying tribute to our fallen heroine, Rebecca Cheptegei. Right Honourable Speaker, as a society, we need to stop victimizing the victims. What normally happens, even when they report these incidents, they'll be asked questions like, why are you bringing bedroom matters to the public? Why are you shaming your husband? It's problematic, and it emanates from the society in which we live. And we must not be the ones to foment that. This must be dealt with. Two, it's important that we encourage victims to be bold and stand up against these ills, both men and women. We have challenges because even when some women report these cases to police and police says, okay, we want to arrest this man, it will be the same lady who is deterring them, saying, please don't arrest our breadwinner. Because she's stuck, and so she's thinking, okay, just threaten him, but not arrest him. It's a challenge that we have in society. Even when these cases end up in court, you'll find that the victim is the one who is standing surety for their tormentor. It's a problem. So there will be a vicious cycle of these incidents, because now the tormentor will become petrified and emboldened because they're thinking, I can do it again and get away with it. I want to encourage men, fellow men. It's important that we become the number one cheerleaders of our wives, of our partners. May God help us for our egos not to get the better of us. Honourable Speaker, I want that we use this opportunity too, and colleagues have done so, to remind government what we have always talked about. Let's improve our sports facilities. Let's build new ones in many of these different places. We are waiting for an update on Akibua Stadium. Hopefully it will come soon. And others. In Western Uganda, there's another that is meant to be attended to. And hopefully, one of these new ones could get to be named after Rebecca Cheptegei. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you. Now, I'll start with the Minister for Gender, because each minister will be given just a few minutes. Before the minister comes, you know, having worked closely, having been a member of the University Council at Makere for 10 years, we grappled with the issue of sexual harassment until we strengthened the Gender Mainstreaming Directorate, came up with a very stringent gender harassment policy. Honourable Minister for Sports, I think it would be prudent for you to work with the Minister of Gender to establish a unit that would handle issues of domestic violence and sexual harassment, because there is also sexual harassment going on in the sports sector among us, our stars, like any other, because You might be a father, but like Honorable Flavia Ravor asked, you know, there are issues. These people cannot confide in you, you know, but also there are experts in that area who are good at probing, but also they go beyond. Some of them are criminal activities that would go on, then protection to the people who have reported the victims and all that. I think it's one thing which we should look at seriously. But I was very happy to see the coordination between Honorable Minister and the Kenyan government. In fact, I first knew it from the Speaker of Kenya, Honorable Wetangula, was the first to inform me about what had happened on her death. So you can see the whole government structure of Kenya was putting in all effort, and it must be recorded properly that we really appreciate their involvement and their consideration of this. Honourable Minister for Gender, you don't need to answer everything. I know you know how to summarize it and deliver the point home.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members. I want to bring condolences from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to the family of Rebecca Cheptegei and the people of Uganda for the loss. I want to thank the members of Parliament for no exception in the voices that have come on condemning domestic violence as a vice. There was no exception. Everybody spoke with the firmness and the need to deal with domestic violence. Specifically, I want to applaud Honorable Brenda for speaking out. These are things that for politicians, a number of you will not talk about. But she has been able to speak, and speak on the floor of Parliament. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, gender-based violence is a national and global problem. In Uganda, most of the survey and most of the studies indicates that at least 95% of women have experienced some kind of violence, either mental, physical, sexual, but UBOS, according to UBOS data of 2021, 95% of women have some form of domestic violence. Domestic violence will not segregate whether you're a member of parliament, whether you're a minister, whether you're a vice president, whether you're a speaker of parliament, whether you are a teacher, poor, rich, white, black. It is a global problem that affects all women. Of course, these days, globally, the campaign for domestic violence against men have also gained momentum, but it is not up to the level of the women. It is deeply entrenched, as many have indicated, because of the social, cultural, and religious context within which we have been socialized. Most of you are socialized in religion and in culture. To protect marriage, to protect your name, not to speak. And even if you speak and you go to the clan or to the church, they will advise you, no, don't go to police. It will shame you, it will shame us, it will shame the clan. Even police, if you go to police, the first advice they will give you is, first go and try to sort it at home. So the socialization context has perpetuated domestic violence, and this is where, as a Ministry of Gender, we are focusing on. We are having collaboration with the cultural institutions, with the religious institution. We give them support in terms of subvention money for us to collaborate. I'm glad that a number of cultural institutions have established bylaws to start reforming cultures, norms that subjugate women and girls into domestic violence. We shall continue with this. We have heard most of the issues raised by the members on popularizing the laws. We have the laws, we have the policies. I was one of those who was very instrumental in passing the Domestic Violence Act of 2010, which gives the LC1 as the court of first instance of dealing with domestic violence, of dealing with issues of defilement and others. We shall continue to work with the local government system to ensure that we popularize the law, we enforce the law with the institution of police, with the Ministry of Health, who are the first people to support in gathering evidence when it comes to sexual and other violence. We believe that empowerment of women is very crucial in addressing domestic violence, especially in areas where people would want to leave the marriage, the abusive marriage. I'm sure if Brenda was a village woman married without any option of where else to go, it will be very difficult for Brenda to speak out and leave that marriage or relationship. Most of our women in the villages, because they are married and you are in the land where your husband is, at home the land that you should be for has already been distributed to the boys. So you have nowhere to go. You are now thinking, if I leave the marriage, where will I go? Some women even go to the extent of asking, where will I be buried? Yes. But for women who have money and they're economically empowered, they will be able to say, I can go and rent and go with my children and be able to pay fees for my children, because a mother and a woman to think that I'm going to leave my children for another woman to look after them, you will not sleep. And most of the reason why most women will be in abusive marriages because they are unable to look after the children when they go with them, so they must live in that marriage to look after their children. So when we empower the women, you empower them to take decision. So we want to continue with the empowerment crusade for women, to support them to have the economic base to make a decision when they know, when I leave this marriage, I have where to go and stay, how to look after my children, and it is very important as one of the issues. So in conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, we will continue with several programs that we are running, creating awareness, partnering with culture.